Anyway, all right. So that is our review for Hubbie Halloween. We're about to jump on our reviews for Lovecraft Country, episode 8, season 1. So we watched Lovecraft. We watched this latest episode, and we've been following. We've been watching every episode, and if you've been following the show, you know what's going on. Basically, if anybody know, well, I'm just speaking from people that's been watching it. I ain't gonna,
So if you've been following along this whole time, you know that the show's sort of reaching something of a denouement. All the different storylines are starting to intersect and they're starting to collide with one another.
Right.
So in this episode, we get to see how a lot of these separate plot lines have really, come to a head. So we've got Atticus, coming into his own with this family heritage of his, trying to find some way to protect his family. You've got him and Montrose finally getting on the same page for the first time.
Yeah, they actually sat down and talked. But before we talk about that, we could talk about exactly where the last episode left off. Because Hippolyta was she went into the machine, or I don't know if it's like a time machine or whatever, and it took her back through time, and she started to I don't know if it was like time or another dimension or whatever. And
yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, so we got a lot of that, and we got that in the last episode. Now, Atticus jumped through on that last episode, and he came back. When he came back, he had the Lovecarft Country book or whatever. So that kind of played some parts in this episode.
Right.
Now we just like, what is it? This is he actually must have broke the fourth wall or something.
No. So well, we were wondering what happened.
Right, and they did explain that.
Right. So I know you had thought maybe it broke the fourth wall. I figured he had gotten sent to an alternate world or something.
So basically, he went to the future of their world and ended up with the book, and then came back. That's kind of what happened.
Or an alternate world similar enough to theirs. They weren't clear on that.
Yeah.
But basically, he met someone who's effectively his son.
Right. He didn't know that he met him, but when he read the book, it was exactly what was going on. So it was his son writing a book about what was happening. Now, D is also featured heavily in this episode.
Yeah.
Now, stuff I didn't like, and this is okay. So the name of the episode is Jigga Bobo. Now, Bobo was a nickname for Emmett Till. Now, if anybody know the story of Emmett Till, I think he's 14-year-old boy was killed by a mob of white men that beat him to death for the whistling of the white lady. I mean, I guess it might have been more to the story, but that's as far as what I gathered. And the whole episode kind of centered on they was kind of doing a memorial to him. But I didn't know earlier. I mean, in a couple early episodes, that was actually like their cousin or something. Like he was there with them. It was when they was show all the kids.
Yeah.
Was one that was supposed to be Emmett Till because they called him Bobo or whatever. And I didn't know that was, but that was his nickname. That was supposed to be him. So they knew him personally. That was kind of a thing why they was really hit hard by this whole thing.
Right.
And and it was a hot day, and Dee's already kind of really upset that her mom never came back. She never came back after she went through the other dimensions or whatever. And as you see in the end of the last episode, they found, or we had the end of the last episode, they found her little comic book with her name on it. So they knew the person they were looking for. Okay? Let me get to my problem. I'm getting there. My problem was she wasn't at home. She was, she was out at the memorial, and then she kind of ran off and just ran somewhere. And they just pulled up, hey, Deandra, what's her name? Deandra or DeAndre? Or, I mean, Deanna? Deanna?
Yeah.
Deanna Freeman. I was like, how do they know where she was at? She was not home, totally just somewhere else. How did they could possibly know where she at? Maybe they used magic, right?
Yeah, a magical spell called plot.
For a second, I thought you'd been like a real magical spell. I'm like, what's that one? Yeah, well, I mean, stuff like that kind of make you mad. It's like, come on, y'all. How would they know? You know, they would go to her house. She ain't there. They'll go to where she supposed to be. She ain't there. But they're not going to randomly run into her on the street after she didn't be somewhere that she absolutely wouldn't be any other, you know what I'm saying, in any other case, and know exactly who she is. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just thought that was just way too convenient. Stuff like that. But, okay, let's, like you said, plot. And then you see that they kind of already introduced this, I guess he the chief, police chief or whatever. Yeah. And he's in cahoots with the...
well, he's trying to take over the lodge
right.
in Chicago, I guess.
Right, which, what's her name?
Christina.
Yeah, it was Christina. She actually ain't got birthright to it because she's female. And which she's not in the book. It's just William. It's just they changed her to a female. D was they actually point all that out in the episode. That's crazy. So that's on like, oh, did they break the fourth wall with that? Whatever. I guess it's more of letting people know what the book is originally like.
Well, if nothing else, like now no one can ask him, hey, I don't know if you realize this, but this character was actually supposed to be this, and this was supposed to happen this way. Like they've just said, it's not the same timeline, bro.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
So anyway, so once he found out that D was responsible, once he saw the comic book, he knew they had something to do with it or whatever.
Yeah.
Then he come looking for her. Now he put this spell on her.
And we'll just ignore the fact that it could have been a Diana Freeman from anywhere across the country. It didn't have the address or nothing. Right.
I mean, it say he did or whatever, and he knew exactly what girl he was looking for, which is pretty much impossible. But he did this spell on her, which was real gross.
Yeah.
Where he had to spit on her, and they showed like the glob of spit just on her forehead.
And it's so thick and runny.
I know.
Like, and you can see her disgust, and then like it doubles back with your disgust from watching a grown man spit on a kid.
Yeah, I know. So we gonna get a little bit also of what's going on with Christina as far as what her agenda or whatever, which I still kind of don't know. I think she's trying to be immortal or something, right? Yeah. That's her whole deal.
So, like, I guess she wants to.
But I thought she already was though.
I think she's invulnerable, but she's not immortal.
Okay.
So, like, her dad came up with the spell for invulnerability.
Right. But she's trying to find a spell to make herself immortal.
Yeah.
And that shows where she has some dudes, I guess, beat her to death or whatever. It's like she totally paid him to do it.
Well, I think that was like one of the brief glimpses of humanity we get out of her, because Ruby accused her of not being capable of understanding the fear and revulsion she had for knowing what had happened to Emmett, right?
Right.
And so I guess it proved to herself that wasn't the case. She just had them do to her what they did to him.
Oh, you know what? Damn. You know what? I didn't even pick up on that, why they did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got you. That makes sense, too. But I don't know if I would have done that. But I was like, damn, why would she have them do that? And they like, okay, let's do this. It's like, damn, they didn't give a damn.
Like, one, how do you, who is just waiting for someone to say, hey, look, I need y'all to kill me. This is how I want to go.
But not just that, but the fact that they did it and then didn't really like hesitate.
I'm sure she wasn't the first person they killed.
Well, yeah, okay. They paid them though. Okay, well, shit, it was worse ways to go. But okay, so she did that kind of to prove that she wanted to test if she's immortal or not.
I don't think she's done the spell to be immortal yet, because she still.
No, she removed her own vulnerability spell, right? She did a little chant before they did it.
No, but I think that was her putting the spell on herself for the first time, because I know her dad used the spell, but she hadn't.
No, but I thought she wouldn't get hurt like that. If she
I don't think she had made her. She was invulnerable before.
I thought she was, and she removed it so she could get beat or whatever. And then when she lived, she like, oh, whew, it worked. That's what I thought.
Maybe. I don't know. Because
so-
I didn't like, because I know they made it out like to complete the spell to become immortal, she needed a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And they made it out like that sacrifice was gonna be Tick.
Right.
And that hasn't happened yet.
Okay. So, as we mentioned, Tick kind of sat down and talked to his father, and he kind of told him, why he lied to him and whatever. I mean, this is 1950. Nobody can't come out
the closet.
Right, you can't openly come out and say you gay, but especially in the black community.
Like, Montrose actually like came out about some of the trauma, like, folks was getting beat up and like, laid out at the docks for getting outed,
Yeah, and he was just saying, well, no, they did some, back then they put you in a crazy home.
Yeah.
And
it was
lobotomize your ass if you
yeah,
was,
it was considered a serious psychological disorder back
right,
then.
Right. That's why he was like, no, I couldn't go out like that,
Right.
So I had to keep it secret or whatever, which makes sense. Excuse me. So let's talk about I forget about it, but once the D got this little spell put on her, they had these little girls, like, I guess they were they like spirits or something, or some kind of ghosts? What you think that? Now, I already know about, it's kind of like, have you seen the movie It Follows?
Yeah.
It's very similar to that, where these ghosts slowly, or whatever, they slowly try to, that's a metaphor for something, but they slowly get at you, and once they catch up to you, and get you, it's a wrap or whatever.
Right.
But you just got to keep running.
So, like, it was a predatory manifestation of fear.
Right.
So that the idea is that since she can't feel safe because there's nowhere they can't get to her.
Right.
Eventually, she'll either come to them and give them what they want to know, or she'll be dead anyways.
But the image of the little girls with the barrettes and
I think it was always going to be something. That's just
right.
what her mind
I think that's
picked up on.
And if somebody know, it's like that's that's like some old racist propaganda stuff where they use those pictures of I know, I just remember that particular image is like some racist propaganda they use or whatever for something, and that's like, and I think that's where the name of the Jigaboo, like that's what that is. Like, that's why the name of the episode is Bobo, because of Emmett Till.
Yeah.
But the Jigaboo is played off of that or whatever.
Like, I think, because one, I think was always going to be some kind of African American and propaganda stuff. Because there's the I think it was a painting of Uncle Ben.
Yeah, they always
on the wall.
Yeah, no, it's Cream of Wheat.
It
could be Uncle Ben. The Cream of Wheat guy.
And like, so the first thing that happened on account of the spell was like, you see the eyes of it follow her as she runs off.
Yeah, I noticed.
Which is like really creepy. Like, one, I love the way they do it because you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
And almost every time that happens in a horror movie, it's about to happen. So like, for it to happen on one where it physically can't happen, props to that.
Right.
And two, you did not see it coming. So it's like, oh, ugh.
So the little girls, to me, they wasn't really scary, only because they didn't feel like they was really, like, they should have did a little more on the makeup, because they just felt like they felt like they was real. They just felt like little girls dancing, and they dances were so in sync, and so the dance looked so choreographed that it didn't feel freaky to me. It should be. That's what I'm saying. That should have been like a freaky little image of the little girls dancing, but the dance was so choreographed and so good that I'm like, it just looked like some people with makeup doing a dance routine.
Well, it's like, I think part of it, like, because the only things that really sold them for me was her very well choreographed terror. So props to the girl that plays Diana for, making that very apparent.
Yeah.
And when they're coming at her at night and she doesn't know they're there.
Well, yeah, it is scary once they almost catch her and grab her with them little claws.
So there's bits there where she doesn't know they're there. And I do hate this because they clearly play to the audience.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of that.
Uh-huh.
But like when it's just them dancing towards her in the dark and you just occasionally see their eyes glowing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is freaky. But my thing is, I wish because it's like a supernatural effort, but I wish they would have did a little more on making them look like zombies or something. Where I just didn't feel like they didn't feel like they was not real. They just feel like some people with makeup on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where I was like, I see what they was going for, but it just didn't really work.
Because they were going
me.
for that Pennywise thing.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing, yeah, right. And the thing is, I don't know if they could have added a little more, maybe some mist or something, or just something that makes them more, less like they was really there. Like I want them to really be there, but I just didn't. I felt like they was like real people.
Yeah.
With makeup on,
or at least make it more obvious that they're intruding on her space.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not there, but you catch glimpses of them coming into frame or something.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing there. Oh wait, what was that I just saw? Oh wait, that's them. Time to run.
Right. That would have been one of them moments where I wouldn't mind if they use CGI on that. where it was like, because when she like, you see them, you know, people like, we don't see what you're talking about, you know. And I'm looking like, well, they look like they really there. They don't look like they're ghosts or you know what I'm saying? They didn't look like zombies.
Even
they
having
look like
them
they just girls.
play with the environment a little bit, like stepping behind one person, but then stepping out of another location, like clearly too far away for them to have like physically gone to.
Yeah, they pretty much use that same aesthetic from It Follows, which is cool. And I'm guessing
I think It Follows was a metaphor for STDs.
Yeah, it was, but the supernatural kind of part was real similar, where it keep chasing you.
Well, like I think what is it they call it? Pursuit predation, where like you're not fast. You're not faster than the thing you're hunting. You're not tougher than the thing you're hunting. You just never stop following it.
Right. Oh, right. I mean, and from the followed point of view, you're faster or whatever, but once you stop, it'll catch you. It's like you can't. Like it will never stop chasing you.
You know, it's like the whole thing with Jason Voorhees. It's like, you know, like folks be calling him the fastest walker on the planet. You know, you're expending yourself trying desperately to get away, and eventually you'll tire out, and he's just gonna stroll up to
you. Yeah, catch you out of nowhere or get in front of you somehow, and then pop out on you. But anyway. That's kind of like how they ended it with the girls catching D, and I think the next episode it's not gonna immediately kill her. It's gonna be slowly killing her. So they got to find out how to
break
lift
the curse.
this curse or whatever. I wish he would have told somebody that the guy who put it on her. And let's talk about the elephant, but that would help them find the guy. Whatever. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. So. Atticus at the end seemed to have a pet now or something.
Yeah.
Are those the same?
I think they are. Yes.
Things from the first couple episodes.
Shoggoths.
Where the HE double hockey sticks did it come from? Hell,
or somewhere else underground?
Because it came from underground.
Yeah. I do not know. Either
so
way,
what we talking about is. Without spoiling everything, but the police is attacking the house, and then they about to shoot Atticus, and out of nowhere one of the big, what is that thing?
Shoggoth.
Well, jump out the ground and just go to work.
And I gotta tell you, I'm so happy to see it again.
No,
really
okay.
am.
Now they did do a protection spell on. Was it a protection spell on Atticus? Because they was trying to.
That's what
him and his father was trying
to
translate some of the stuff or whatever, and they would have probably been helped if Montrose didn't kill the damn whatever the thing was, the lady
siren.
The siren. But anyway, they put a protection on Atticus, and I think this is why the thing is protecting him.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, and but. It went so far as not just, well, I guess it just took out anybody that was a threat to him.
So like, rather than being a spell of protection, it gave him a protector.
Okay, which I'm like, okay. Okay, well, is it going to go back underground or is it just going to just hang around like a puppy?
It's just going to be sleeping in the driveway, man, you know?
Yeah.
In the front door.
I guess they got to put it in the basement or something. I don't know, but
there's a huge ass doghouse out front.
Yeah, but Yeah, that was whoa. And I do like how they did like off camera. You just kind of heard what's going on,
Yeah,
and then you just seen people flying.
Yeah,
That was good enough.
yeah. Well, like that's the great thing about it is like because you're dealing with this Lovecraftian horror, you have the advantage of having unseen horrors already being built into your medium. So then when you show what they look like and then you don't show what they do, we've already seen them do some brutal, wretched stuff.
Yeah.
So imagine what they're doing when all you can do is hear them.
Yeah.
That's all you can do is like your mind starts building a picture.
And I'm cool with that because I don't need to be. Well, it was gory, but I don't need them to just keep going with the gore. Just like I already know I can get like you said, I can already get a picture once you destroy one person, then you just go over there and other people just screaming and running. It's like, oh, well, I already know what's going on,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that's kind of where they left off, and from there, we'll have to find out where they go from there.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how. I don't know how they're not gonna be like wanted by the rest of the world because all these cops has just died, and people gonna want answers, and I don't know where they go from here.
Let's also not forget that they do have neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can say, well, I seen some big dog beating them, killing them, but I don't know what happened,
Right.
But the thing is, I don't know where they go from here. So, and it's only like 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes.
Yeah.
left. So we'll get to see what's gonna happen. But I really don't. I would hate for them to act like they just go back to their lives,
Right.
After this, like nothing happened. Like, come on, man, this dog ripped apart the whole police force, pretty much, wasn't it?
But then, did they ever really? So this is something that I actually just thought about. Did they ever have a payoff? Because some kids got killed in their house after they exorcised all the ghosts. Not kids.
Like they never. Yeah, I forgot about that.
There was never a payoff from that.
Wasn't it they neighbors?
Yeah, came to.
They just like. They was like, because they just disappeared.
Yeah.
They just like let that go.
And so like they gave us a little peek.
Somehow they ended up in the little tunnel
in the
down there.
little tunnel.
It's a few things that don't really add up
So
in
like
this show.
I'm wondering if
kind of just let it go.
Yeah. So like I'm wondering if that is ever going to pay off some of the other stuff too.
Like, because when they was in I forget what city they was in, but they went through the little pirate ship or whatever, and they ended up back home.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really explain how that
across the
worked,
country.
and they didn't even they act like they didn't care.
Yeah.
They was, so they was all in another state, and
so I guess this connects to the under
the
the
house. How did you get all the way there? Whatever. I don't know. But see, stuff like that, they kind of just, like I said, they just let go and they just like, whatever. And we kind of just like, whatever. We just want to.
Well, because like
I just enjoying the show, but a lot of stuff don't make sense.
Because it trips for me, just because again, like I said, I'm so used to the framing of these kinds of stories that kind of like blatant folding of space and whatnot makes me think that there's a lot more going on there than the most informed person in the show is aware of,
Yeah.
And that, like, I don't know if that's something I need to be on the lookout for, I guess.
Right. So, okay, that is our review for Lovecarft Country, episode 8. I want to see how this show ends. You really can't make a season 2, but we'll see.
But yeah, because this show is still going pretty damn strong. Ain't really missed yet for me.
Right, yeah,
So
me too.
I'm still on board.
So be on lookout for our review for episode 9 next week. So we're gonna wrap that up, and we're gonna move on to our next review.